Good morning, folks. It's July 12th. I want to make a video this morning re-exploring the roots and purpose of this YouTube channel, and that is learning about recovery from mental illness to mental health. And basically that's probably, it's rebuilding your life. When people get sick and have a major disruption in their life, a lot of times caused by trauma, which then causes some form of mental illness, you just lose your life. You lose interest in things you used to do, things that used to bring you joy and happiness. You lose homes, families, jobs, and it can leave people in a really desperate situation, and that's where a lot of mental illness comes from. And that's similar to my journey in life. I had a lot of loss, and which showed itself as depression, and it took me a long time to learn that the depression was caused by loss of my former life, and I've had to learn how to rebuild a new life, not go back to the old life. That life is gone, and so I'm learning how to do everything I can to rebuild a new life, doing things that I really enjoy doing, that are really meaningful to me. So today's video is about canning. As you all know, I have a garden, and it brings me a lot of self-satisfaction, and it really helps me to feel good about myself because of being able to provide for myself. And not that I'm a prepper or survivalist at all, but whatever I do get out of my garden, I do it for the purpose of making my life better. And so one of the things that I've learned to do, and it's very small time, is canning. When I have an abundance of stuff in the garden, is I do a little bit of canning. And so today I'm doing what they call a unboxing. And I've watched a lot of YouTube channels and how to do YouTube channels, how-to videos, and so one of the things they do a lot is called unboxing. And I got a new, well, it's called a Smart Canner cooker. It's basically a crock pot that was specifically designed and built for canning and pressure canning. And so I'm excited about that. I usually like to do things as primitive as possible, but canning, it's a lot of time, effort, mess. It's a lot of heat. It's July right now. Normally, my mother, my grandmother, they did canning in the fall. My grandmother had an outside kitchen, and I don't have that. So in order to can right now in July, I want to avoid all the heat that it would create in a house. I'm trying to air condition a house, and so I got this Smart Canner that creates a whole lot less heat in the house. So we're going to do an unveiling. So stick with me, and we'll go from there. So this is what my new canner is replacing. I got these two big old traditional canners here. This is the one that I really used a lot. Just was smaller, fits my house, fits my production. And this one is a real traditional canner. Holds 7 quarts, which is a lot for me to do at one time. But then this is my new Smart Canner. Alright, so without further ado, let's open this up and see what we got. One of the good things about this canner is I'll be able to very easily just do a couple containers at a time, a couple quarts or a couple pints at a time, without boiling all that water and taking all that time to get things going. So there's the instructions. I'll make sure I go over them real good. There's canning can be a little bit technical, but it doesn't have to be. There's the cord. Oh, and this is the little stopper. Weight, depending on, as you might tell, I'm doing this all by myself. There we go. Depending on the altitude. We'll talk about that later. Here we go. There it is. Wow, came out nice, huh? There it is. Of course, I did a pretty good amount of research, and this is specifically designed for canning and pressure canning. I've never pressure canned before, but this will make it pretty much a piece of cake, and again, not make my house all hot. Alright, see if we can figure out how to open it. Wow, opened it right up like that. Removable insert. There's a tray that goes on the bottom of this insert, and there's a rack in there for making two layers. When you're doing pints, you can make 2 layers. It's got some kind of a little safety valve on the bottom. There's a lot of safety built into this. I'm looking forward to using it. I'm gonna do it today, so I'm gonna can up just a couple jars of pickles. I got enough cucumbers to make some pickles. I bought 3 onions. I love making pickled onions. They're very crunchy. And I'll see what else I can find laying around here that I can quick just pickle up here. So one thing that's really important, we'll switch back over here. I'm trying to avoid being camera shy. Let's see. There we go. I said I'm trying to avoid being camera shy. One thing that's important to know about and think about: recovery always costs money, time, and or energy. You can't change, you can't transform yourself and your life without putting in time, money, and or effort. And this pressure cooker was smart canner, I should call it, was definitely an investment, about I don't know, 150 bucks. And it's definitely an investment of time to can up the stuff, and it's definitely more effort than sitting in my recliner watching YouTube. So it's a a good activity for me to do, and I get a lot of reward out of the end product. I think it's canning is they're just beautiful when you see your food in a jar that you've preserved. It's just a cool thing. For your own self-sufficiency, for my own self-sufficiency, which is very important. I spent a lot of years being dependent on Social Security, on other people. I was not very I didn't feel self-sufficient. And so canning is a very self-sufficient activity. That's why it's really important to me. So that's why I'm making this video, spending the time. That's why I bought the new canner, because now I can can during the heat of the summer, and I can do it in a lot smaller batches, relatively easy and quickly. And it's effort, and those are the things that add up to a really positive result for me in my life, and me improving my mental health. So again, you don't have to do logging, you don't have to do gardening, you don't have to do canning, but you have to find something that gives you real meaning and purpose in life. And I know it's hard, and you have to experiment and look around and figure out what it is that's going to work for you. I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing recovery to mental health for a while. I have a professional job that where I learn it and I teach it and I do it. So I've gotten kind of good at it over the years, and I'm always looking for ways of making it better. And my new smart processor I'm excited to use it. That's why I'm making a video of it today. So I'm going to say goodbye for now and get things set up and going, and we'll come back. Okay folks, moving on. I got my jars washed up. I got my cucumbers washed up. I'm using a combination of burpless cucumbers and regular Kirby cucumbers. I'm not sure about these. These seem to be a little softer, but we'll find out. And I've started cutting my cucumbers up and putting them in the jar. Okay, I got 5 pints of cucumbers, 4 pints of cucumbers, and 1 pint of green tomatoes. Usually in the fall I pick my green tomatoes before frost and make pickles out of them. I've only done it a couple times, so it's a little bit new to me. So I got 4 cucumbers. One of the cucumbers I put a hot pepper in, and I put a hot pepper in the tomatoes. And now I'm going to make my brine. Alright, so there's my brine. That's 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 cups of vinegar, 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, 1 tablespoon of mustard seed, 1 1/2 teaspoon of celery seed, and 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. I gotta bring that to a boil. Just let it simmer for a couple minutes. Then it's ready to go in a jar. I'll be back when we're ready to go in a jar. Alright, I got all the jars filled with brine. Got the lids on. Gonna put them in the canner. There's my first batch of pickles. Here's my mess, not much. And I have 1 more quart jar in here of onions. So I'll show you that when that gets done. Alright, it's Monday morning. Did my canning yesterday. So the results, there's the old canner on its way out the door. So that's got to tell you a little bit that I'm very happy with my new Carey. It was a new experience to learn how to use it, but I'm an adapter, so that's going to stay, and the old one's going out to the barn for now. And I wound up with what you see here. So what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pints and 1 quart. The quart's all onions. So so this is on the, I decided to store them. My wife's still in bed, so I can do whatever I want. I'm storing them here on the TV stand, right? I'm sitting on my chair, so I will be able to admire my work. This is another important thing that I've learned about recovery. Is somebody told me one day, said, Don, you have to learn to appreciate your accomplishments. So to me, this is like work of art. My wife's got work of art there. I got my work of art right there. So I am going to enjoy looking at them. I'm going to let them sit for about a week, let them cure, and then I'm going to dig into them and see how they are. I could have packed them a little bit more. They're floating a little bit more than I would have liked to, but that's okay. Doesn't affect anything. And these won't be lasting that long. And maybe by next weekend, I will have collected enough cucumbers to make another batch. And maybe I'll get a cauliflower or something else. So all in all, I'm very, very happy. And I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Do something that makes you happy. More time you spend doing things that make you happy, the better you feel.